can feel your energy, it's making me realize everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, you and I.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to RFDL Week 2 of Swiss, Day 1. I'm Ecliptic Phase. I'm joined by Aerolax, Docky, and Firestreak as always. How are you guys doing today?
Hello.
Good. Excited for some games today.
Hi,
everyone.
Yes.
Microphone peaking.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. We're always peaking around here, Docky. What do you expect?
I'm in a
Fair,
constant state of peak.
Just like our players are about to peak today.
That is the idea. That is the hope. We've got a couple
That
of
is the hope,
matches
yeah.
for you today. We are going to be running round 2 of our Swiss stage. Not too much to talk about before we get into the matches. We only have 2 matches today, and I guess that is something a little bit to talk about. So if we go ahead and check the leaderboard, as you can see, already have a result here. And that is the first big thing to talk about. Persian 1 used to be consisting of Drake Hayes and Fire J Boss. They have dropped out of the league. Fire J Boss and Drake both have events going on at the same time as playoffs, and they didn't want to make it all the way to playoffs and then not be able to play. So they decided as a team the best thing to do to allow players that are actually going to be able to play to have their chance is to just drop out early in Swiss. It does mean that any team that is facing them, i.e. Gentle Pod this week, gets a bye into the next round, which means they'll get an instant win on their record. When we do get to round 3, the team, they will be up in this this Persian 1 spot will be down, I believe, in this O2 spot, I believe. I'm not entirely sure where we're supposed to put them, but I think they're going to be here. I'm not too sure about that. They might actually be down in this O2 spot. So we'll see exactly where they show up here. We still have to kind of figure that out. But other than that, we still have some excellent games going on this week. We're going to have some matches tomorrow where a lot of these 1-0 teams are going to figure out who's going to become 2-0 and have that shot at the top 2 seeds. We'll also be doing X3 Tactics versus Fox Clan today. So we'll be doing 1 bottom match and 1 top match today. And then tomorrow we'll be doing the rest of round 2. And then we will be getting into round 3 next week. And that being said, for next week, as you can see here, all of our 1-1 games are on the Saturday because we need to know before Sunday who our 2 and 1 players are going to be here and our 1 and 2 players here. So we have to play these 1 and 1 games first. So if you guys are 1 and 1 on the next week for round 3, just know that you need to either be playing on Saturday or pre-record before that so we know our matches for Sunday. that is going to be the only day, I believe, where that is the case. Every other time we will have our matches beforehand, so we won't need to do it that way. It'll only be for round 3 where that happens. So just make sure that your team does know that if you guys are playing in those 1-in-1 rounds next week. But that being said, we have 2 matches to do today. We're going to be starting with Cloud9 versus Twisted Tales and ending with X3 Tactics versus Fox Clan. They're going to be some interesting game, guys. Hopefully we see all these players peak, as you guys were saying earlier. But what are your guys' thoughts going into the 2 matches that we have today?
I think they're going to be some pretty good matches overall, honestly. Because, like, again, I've always been saying, just like, this new Twisted Tales roster definitely has a lot of potential. And to put that up against the Cloud9 roster, which has had a lot more time to kind of, like, build chem with each other, it's going to be really interesting to kind of see that clash and just really see what happens between those 2 teams.
Yeah.
I mean, firstly, Gentle Pause Aura buff. Let's go. I mean, we just got we got the big buff right there. But I mean, between these 2 teams, I think it's going to be a fairly evenly matched series. I mean, these are 2 of those teams that have identical rank composition. So it's definitely going to be a match that's really close all around, and I think both these teams are going to be bringing their A games in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I can only agree with that. I think that we get to that stage where, you know, I know that I think teams have been having a lot more fun with the Swiss stages, which has been really, really nice to see. I have to imagine that'll continue, especially knowing these 2 teams. I imagine we'll see some more fun gameplay, but it'll still be really good games, I think. So, like I said, I say this every week we do this. I really love seeing, you know, these series get really, really close, and I think this has the potential for it. So I'm excited to see that for sure.
Awkward silence.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
sorry.
go.
I mean, just kind of waiting to see how the lobby was going, how it was setting up. But no, I'm really interested to see how this is going to go. Now, we do know Twisted Tales does play a lot of they're playing for fun. They're playing just to have a good time, which means we're probably going to see some very weird card presets coming out from them. Don't know if Cloud9 is going to come in with the same energy, but we'll have to see about that. But that being said, I am actually going to hand the floor to the rest of you guys and disappear from the screen, as I need to go and set up with my team. So I will obviously listen into you guys, but you guys have fun talking about this match, and I will see you at the end of mine. So have fun.
All right, good luck, Fade.
I mean, I guess to start this one off, it's time to go over the teams, guys. We got to go over both of these teams. And for our first team, I don't know who Fade's going to pull up, actually, but I'd imagine it would be Cloud9, who is Fade, Voltac, and Factual Data. You know, Factual, that's my teammate. Then we got Fade, who is always doing mouse-like things on these games, which sometimes works out for him, sometimes doesn't. We'll need to see if it's working for him today. And then Voltac, always a goated player, and somebody who can really make some big plays.
Yeah, and one thing that I actually just now realized, on Cloud9, specifically on Fades, we actually have a top 5 in accolades and demos per game at 1.5 per game. Obviously not as high as players like Vezix or Strawberry, but still definitely up there to make a difference in those games, because getting those demos really causes a lot of disruption, which is something that you really need to be careful of when you're playing against this team.
Docky, what do you have to say about this team?
Fade's there. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow.
I joke. I mean, you know, good friends. All of them I would consider them just a generally chill team, and you know, it's hard not to root for them, just to succeed, just with, you know, how how great they are. They've had a little bit of ups and downs in the regular season. They actually ended up pretty high. But if you had watched kind of some of them in the earlier season, some of their games in the earlier season, you probably wouldn't have thought they would have ended up that high. So their ability to kind of turn that around has been nice to see. We'll see if they're able to continue that momentum here as we continue into Swiss. But yeah, all in all, they've done a really good job.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, you two, but I feel like these are specifically Cloud9, just one of those teams. They're not going to win in the most pretty of ways, but they'll pull out wins oftentimes when you don't expect them to, which is really good to see. The shows a certain amount of resilience by this team. So they've been doing really good lately, and we'll see if they can keep up that momentum. But on the other side of the coin, they have a tough opponent to go up against in Twisted Tales, who, I mean, Erlac says it a lot, but I'll echo the sentiment. Liska goated, absolutely.
True.
Great player. Skifty is also really great, and Golden, also a very solid player in his own right. Like, Golden has some of the best defense I've seen out of our GC ones, and it's really is able to tie that team together when he's able to really flourish in that defensive setting, while Skifty is really applying that pressure. And I mean, Liska just says Liska things, and it works most of the time, so it's great to see this team mesh and puts together some good games.
Yeah, and one thing that's always been really interesting about this team to me is that it's always been EU based, no matter what really the roster was. And we have, I believe it's both Liska and Skifty are both the EU players on that. Golden, I think, is US East, I might be mistaken. But that's always kind of put them at a bit of a disadvantage in terms of, like, you know, like servers and all that, all the ping. But even with that, they've still pulled out some really good plays, and I keep saying it, but this team has a lot of potential, and you can never count them out.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And we talked about this before, and that they're a team that has those kind of flashes of being very good, and then kind of sometimes not quite, not quite being able to finish in some of these series. All season long, they've kind of been like that unlucky team that's performed really, really well, and then just gets kind of like loses in overtime and game fives and these really, really close games where anyone could win. And I think if anything flipped, they could be, at the very top of the league standings, and they have the talent to do that. So they're definitely not a team to scoff at. We saw this in the midseason as a team that could take Black Bunny to a close 5-game series. They definitely can play above like what you would expect them to play on paper. So yeah, I think they can absolutely show up, and I absolutely expect them to do so.
Great analysis by you guys. As always, you guys are the analytical minds, to say.
Nah, I just do mix.
Techers.
We're just working out the coin toss right now for the two teams, which I believe Fade is going to do live on stream, if I remember, or if I'm understanding this correct, because we don't want anyone accusing us of being biased
Unfair.
towards
Yeah.
anybody. So yeah, we'll naturally Twisted Tales is going to be Tails. So
Of course.
and the coin is flipping, and it's Tails! We'll see which servers Twisted Tales wants, but I'd imagine they're going to select EU servers for Game 1.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to favor them, because that's just going to put the momentum directly in their favor to start off the series, which is definitely what you want, because just having that momentum, I always keep saying it, Rocket League is a very just momentum-based game, both in-game and also in terms of a series, and getting that in your favor is going to be very, very crucial for the Twisted Tales here.
It absolutely is, especially for a team like them that hasn't had the best of luck in their Game 5s and in those kind of extended series type of situations. They're going to want to go ahead early and be able to secure those really solid leads early on in this match. So, I mean, I don't really think there's anything else for us to do other than get right into this match, guys. So, yeah, I think we're just about to good to go on this side as we head into the game. Oh, I'm getting a 1 second message from Fade, so we'll see.
Quick, find something to talk about.
He's reminding us that we forgot to do something, guys. And that's predictions. So Arrow, what are you feeling for a prediction on this one?
What am I feeling for a prediction? Okay. As always, it's always difficult because these teams, literally every single one, there's a chance that any team could take it. I'm gonna do something maybe a bit unexpected and actually go for Twisted Tails here. And that is solely because we've seen them so far in Swiss just having fun and just not taking it seriously. And that's really the mindset that you need to do well in this sort of situation. Because it just means that there's just no stress in doing well, so you can't really put stress on yourself to do well. And from my experience, that's exactly what makes you play well. So I'm going to say this one will go Twisted Tails. I'm going to say it goes to 5.
On my end, I think there's a combination of things. I think Twisted Tails has been getting better and better with every series that they play. And then on top of that, I mean, I got a lot of faith in Fade. I do. But his results while playing live have not been too favorable up to this point. So I think that's going to weigh into this factor, not necessarily in his performance, but maybe on the mental side of things. So given that might be the case, I will also give it to Twisted Tails as the upset of the weekend. And I wish I could give it to them in 4.5 games, but I don't think that's how this works, so I'll just say in Game 5.
I mean, technically, if it's bad enough, C9 could just, like, forfeit that last game. Technically, it would be 4.5.
Alright, Docky, what are you feeling?
You know, and this isn't just to prevent a death curse. You know, I know Fade hasn't been playing very much recently. He's been playing this other soccer game that he's been raving about, so he might not have as much experience, but I have a feeling that someone has put a wheel of cheese within eyesight of Fade, and Fade's going to be absolutely unlocked this series, so I think I'm going to give it to Cloud9. I think it is going to go to 5, but I do see them pulling away with it, so I have full faith in this Cloud9 team to be able to come back and kind of show what they're capable of here, but I do think it's going to be a tight series.
And I mean, yeah, that's I'm not against that prediction, Docky. I think that's that is definitely in the cards for this series. So, I mean, ultimately, I think the biggest thing that we want is a Game 5, guys.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. We really just want that excitement of the Game 5 to just start this weekend off with a bang.
We do, and I mean, nothing will start off better other than a Game 5, but what do you think is going to be the deciding factor in this series? Oh, wait. I'm getting something over the radio, guys. I think that these teams are just about ready to play, which means we can go over to Manfield Knight to start off Game 1 of Round 2 of the Swiss stage. So, Docky, Airlax, take this one away.
Alright, thank you. As we head into the game, Cloud9 versus Twisted Tails. I believe these are both 0 and 1 teams. So this is going to be a very crucial match because the loser of this will then go 0 and 2, which means if they want to make playoffs, they will then have to win 3 straight series in a row, which is definitely going to be difficult. We'll see what they're able to do here as Cloud9 going to take control of this in the corner. Twisted Tails trying to mount an attack here. Factual puts it off the post, and Voltac able to put that one away. And already we're seeing a lot of pressure from Twisted Tails early on in this game.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that, like that kind of 0-2 fear here in the Swiss, and we have a lot of all season long. We've had a lot of series, not as much in terms of these kind of Swiss scenarios where you actually have the series wins mattering in terms of who are next playoffs. I mean, I guess they kind of do in league play, but not to this extent. And so we talked about how going down on triple match point really makes things difficult, but that fear of not only being triple match point, but having to actually go ahead and not lose a single series after this has to be a little bit daunting. Getting that 1-1 makes things a little bit easier in the long run. Still not a breeze by any means, but definitely more of a breeze than 0-2. So maybe that pressure might show itself here. We have seen a little bit more of a scrum here. There's been some possession, a couple opportunities for both sides, a little bit of pressure, but no one really trying to make too many mistakes. We haven't seen a lot of overextending. I think both teams really want to win this one, which I think we talked about winning that game 5. I think that for the long run is going to help us out a little bit towards getting to that. But I have the feeling that as the series goes on, we might start to see a little bit more risky plays here.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that we do, because those risky plays, while they are risky, they show that the team is confident in what they are doing. We're going to definitely want to see that confidence in either of these teams as a shot rings out. Liska going to save that one off the post, and it's just going to send Cloud9 back scrambling onto their side. Now Liska trying for the shot. Voltac going to put this one into the corner here. It's going to allow Fade to put this one all the way downfield. Liska and Fade with the 50 over to the other side. No real threatening shots from Cloud9 here, bringing out of that attack. We're gonna have to see if they can get something, but the team bump there gonna allow Golden to flick it over, almost getting a bump. And Liska gonna try and get that one on target. Gets a dunk as well. Skifty's gonna be there, going for the bump, and a save. Still going to be dangerous. Fade gonna be able to put that one away, and Cloud9 able to survive that attack.
It seems like, kind of like we were talking about, like not really wanting to push that extra man forward to kind of take advantage of an awkward ball there. It might have been scoreable.
Oh,
That one's definitely almost opportunity, but Liska gets a really good touch all the way out. There's no chance of a follow-up, although that double miss might make things dangerous. Golden does a really good job of making sure that one goes all the way across and out. Yeah, this back and forth has been kind of going on all game long. We have a minute and 40 seconds left, rather. We've really yet to see anyone actually make that couple push. We've seen a couple shots here. That one's an opportunity. There might be another one. Fade gets a nice save, and then Factual is there to clear it out. And once again, we're going back the other way. I did almost curse that one. As immediate as I said that.
but surprisingly not, as Cloud9 able to save those 2 shots away. And coming up on a minute left in this game. Still no goals to be had from either team. This is being a so very close game. I'm gonna have to see if this game sparks momentum for either team. As we get Fade taking a shot on net. Factual gonna try and put this one mid. Voltac's gonna be there! And 52 seconds left. We finally have the first goal of this series. And Cloud9 putting that in off the fantastic pass from Factual.
Yeah, what a play. Absolutely clears Liska, who was waiting in net, I think, for either a low pass or a shot. That one just goes all the way to the corner, and Voltac in the perfect position. We might open the floodgates as another shot opportunity might have been there, but that one goes off the post. Although it's still dangerous, that one might just fall in. Liska gets a fantastic save off the crossbar. It seems like that first goal allowed Cloud9 to play a little bit more confidently. We're playing them see a little bit more forward, which spells bad news here for Twisted Tails here in this first game.
Oh, but Skifty gonna try for that shot. It was close. But yeah, we're seeing a lot more confidence from this Cloud9 team, but that also means that they might start overcommitting just a little bit. And that might be what Twisted Tails needs to get a goal of their own. But as we hit the last 10 seconds, Liska gonna try and mount an attack, a bump over to the side. Skifty gonna try and control this. Fade with the massive launch downfield. That's going to nearly touch the ground. Fade keeps it up. Skifty gonna hit this away, and that one's gonna be down. And with just 1 goal scored, Cloud9 is going to take that first game.
Has to be the Esper. You know, Fade hearing my cries for more Esper gameplay. It leads to a win. I mean, I'm not saying it's correlated, but I am saying it's correlated. I am saying that. Play the Esper, you get wins. That's how it works. That's how Rocket League works. But no, very well played for both teams. That was incredibly close, even there to the final second. It felt like that first goal really was going to be the deciding factor, and it absolutely was. So yeah, I'm curious to see here, and as we move forward in the game, if the gameplay changes up a little bit. Both teams playing a little bit more reserved now, but now as we get into game number 2, we might start to see that become less and less the case, as we kind of talked about before. That first game, not jitters, but more so that not wanting to be the first one to concede. And now that that's already happened, you might not have that feeling on your head anymore.
Yeah, because as soon as you concede, it does actually kind of take off a little bit of pressure from the players, because now that allows for you to realize just goals are going to happen, and once you concede that first goal, you then have to score the next one, or else you're going to lose the game. And Cloud9 taking that first one, and now Twisted Tail's going to try and mount a comeback here, make sure Cloud9 doesn't get to match point too soon.
Oh.
Bit of a miss there. Just a little bit of scrappy play here. Liska gonna try and put this up, as I see actually Liska in the Fennec. That might be the first time this entire Swiss stage that we've actually seen Liska in what could be said as a standard car. We're gonna have to see. Maybe that's partially showing in the mental side of Twisted Tails, showing how they might be taking this a little bit more seriously, which could be good or bad. Docky, what do you think about that?
I mean, I always feel like there's always a level of mind games in the players that change their cars a lot. Like, as someone that kind of just plays the Octane a lot, except for, you know, the Esper every once in a while, I kind of is knowing that I'm going to do that. But I really feel like someone that kind of always plays kind of a meanier car, or has recently at least, and then you swap to a sweatier vehicle, I might get in your opponent's head like, oh my goodness, they've taken off the weighted vest now. I might open the gates. There's a massive miss comes through. That one might be dangerous, but Factual plays that really well off to the side. Gets the boost, but does not touch the ball.
Oh,
this might be dangerous. Skifty does get the shot on net. That's the first goal for Twisted Tails.
That is a very, very good shot there. Golden coming off that corner, getting the pass midfield. Skifty quite far up, but just back enough to get the jump up and slotting that one into the back of the net. And finally, we have a goal from Twisted Tails. And if this game is as close as last one, that might be the last goal that we see for this game. But I know Cloud9, they're definitely not going to want to just leave that hanging. They're going to want to go back. They're going to want to answer. As we coming up on 3 minutes remaining. Factual going to try for the touch. Voltac as well. And it's going to get pinched out, and Fade going to have to take this one back to the side.
And it kind of feels like Cloud9 playing with a little bit more pressure now. This is the first time in the series that they've trailed. Now they have to play this a little bit safer. It's a very dangerous save there from Fade, but it does work out in their favor. I see a little bit more maybe possession game here from Cloud9. They've said not panicking quite, but it seems like they're a little bit more nervous now that they're leading, as they're kind of giving the ball away a little bit more than they were prior. I have an opportunity there, but Liska playing that incredibly well and gets a fantastic touch out of the corner to push it all the way forward. And like you were talking about with that first goal maybe being the deciding factor, every second ticks off the clock here. I might feel that that might be the case. I hope that gets a really
You
nice
jinxed it. You jinxed it.
I absolutely did. But my goodness, that's a fantastic solo play there from Voltac. Wow.
Yeah, that is just so well played. Just going past one player at a time, and that's all you need to tie up this game. We're gonna have to see if Twisted Tails can answer back, or if Cloud9 is gonna continue that momentum forward. This Factual gonna try for the shot. It gets blocked over to the corner. Liska gonna try and take control of this. Gets the reset. He's going to get it by Fade. Skifty gonna try and cover the shot from Voltac. Golden going to be able to save this. Takes a quick shot, and Skifty trying to pop that one over. Isn't quite able to get it on target. Liska, that shot was on target, but Fade very quickly saving that one away. And another one as well. That's gonna pinch right the way in. And the
Oh
pinch
my.
from Fade and Voltag. I need to see this again. What even happened?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
That
It's the
is
power of the
insane.
Esper. It's the power of the Esper.
Indeed it is. That's going to give the lead to Cloud9 with 1:40 left. Only 100 seconds now counting down on the clock. And Twisted Tails now looking down the barrel of this Cloud9 offense. They're still trying to fight for yet another goal, and they're nearly going to get it. Skifty with a fantastic save. Fade going to be there to put that one in. And now with a 2-goal lead, it's looking very, very dangerous for Twisted Tails here.
Yeah, what a great touch there from Factual to put that just in the most awkward spot for Skifty. Has to get a touch, but it's really just on the top of Skifty's head. Can't really do anything other than just hope that it flips out, but unfortunately for them, just hits the post. And well, I think even Fade can hit that shot on open net. I'm just kidding, Fade. I'm not, oh my god. Okay, well, I think Fade heard me.
I think he did. My goodness. Yeah, 4-1 here. This is very nearly over for Twisted Tails here. With a minute left, we're averaging just about 20 seconds per goal, which is definitely not impossible as that ball bounced. Pretty much spelled the end of that attack as Factual going to put this one off the ceiling. Voltac going to cover that. And this one's going to bounce right into the center, but no one from Cloud9 there because they realize they don't need a goal anymore. They just need to keep that ball out of their net.
Oof.
However, as I say that, Factual try and put on another shot. Come up on 40 seconds left. Factual gonna try and put this one in. Voltac popping that one over Golden. Factual gonna be there for the finish, but Skifty going to put that one away. Now Liska gonna try and turn this one around. Gets the demo, and Skifty is going to be there. Cutting that goal lead down to just 2. 27 seconds left. I said it before, but you can never count this Twisted Tails team out.
Yeah, it's a fantastic way to show they're absolutely not letting that a little bit overwhelming lead get to them. That was a fantastic play to cut the lead down to just 2. There's still a chance here, though. They're going to need to score quickly if they want to take that chance. Just under 20 seconds now. That's a really good touch, but another really good touch from Voltac. Liska might have had a missed jump there. And now 10 seconds left. I think this one is in Twisted Tails' corner, and that ball bounces to the corner as well. And I believe this one will go. Game number 2 in Cloud9's favor. Absolutely the power of the Esper carrying this team.
Indeed it is. We're going to get just a little bit of 0-second shenanigans here. Liska trying for the double, nearly getting it. But that game goes into Cloud9's favor as we now move back to EU servers for this 3rd game. It possibly might be the final one, but this is definitely going to give the advantage back to Twisted Tails as we are going to be on EU servers. And do you think I'm wondering, Docky, do you think that this ping difference might be causing a bit of this chaos that we're seeing here?
Yeah, you might think it does. I mean, it kind of felt like it maybe in game 1. That's why you didn't have as much scoring. I mean, if you're Twisted Tails, and those EU maps, unfortunately, you kind of have to take full advantage of them. It is the best chance for you to win these ones, and they did not do that in that first game, unfortunately, but they kept it so incredibly close. So if you Twisted Tails, I mean, obviously, right, you're against triple match point at this point, so they have to win every single game. So I was going to say this one, because it is on EU, this is a must-win game for them, but every game is a must-win game for them at this point. But I feel like if they're able to do this one in a handed way, where they maybe take some form of offensive dominance, that might give them that additional push and momentum to help them in the game forward. If they're going to do that, they're going to have to start with this one taking away this Cloud9's offense. It seems like last game, Cloud9 just had so much command over the ball and over the possession, and that is seemingly not stopping as Voltac hits a lovely shot all the way there, and that's the first goal here for Cloud9.
Yeah, but we saw like that dunk from Fade putting that in the perfect position where Golden couldn't even reach that. That is fantastic play. As we now see, I believe Skifty now on the Dominus instead of the Fennec. Very interesting play here. We're going to have to see if that does any difference here as Fade nearly own goaling. Oh, I'm so sad that that didn't go in, but that one is off the post. Golden, so very close, but it's always those open nets that are the most difficult. We're getting so many shots from Twisted Tails, but none of them finding their mark. You're just starting to wonder if maybe one of these Twisted Tails members just like broke a rule 1 or something. Because they're not having any luck on this offensive side.
Yeah, feels like, absolutely. I just feel like they've upset some form of Rocket League God. They've had so many opportunities, but just barely off the mark. And then for actual, quite a fantastic save, if I might add. Felt like it could have been a goal there, or surely was going to be a goal there, but just in the perfect position. That's a really good pass, but just not quite. They're a little bit too far forward. And now we go back the other way, but yeah, with the full booster, it might be able to command this, but Skifty not able to get the 50. Will allow Fade to just put a stop to that one. It seems like Cloud9's kind of going back to their just allowing Twisted Tails to take the ball forward and then immediately shutting it down and going back the other way. For Twisted Tails, you might need to change it up a little bit here. This is a good start here, as that's a good pass, but no one there to receive it. It's like a little bit of a boost issue there. Liska gets that back corner boost. That's an awkward ball, and Voltag gets the second one for himself and for Cloud9, and that's a 2-goal lead here.
Yeah, but with 3 minutes left. It's definitely not 3 seconds. My goodness. But yeah, Twisted Tails still not out of this one. But it's looking like the Cloud9 offense is just unstoppable. We're going to have to see a lot more confidence from Twisted Tails. They're going to have to just start putting even more shots on net, just out-pressuring this Cloud9 team. As right now, they've been getting a couple good opportunities, but it's just been shifting all the way to the other side as Voltag puts in the hat trick off of that backboard read. And my goodness, Cloud9 just looks unstoppable right now.
Yeah, well, I talked about in the pre-show about how someone put a wheel of cheese in front of Fade. It's Voltag, it seemingly is the one that's just has that motivation, as Voltag's been absolutely unleashed this series. Just, you know, whether you're rooting for Twisted Tails or for Cloud9, you gotta love to see that level of confidence there from Voltag. You know, absolutely showing up here when his team needed them to. Now, of course, there is still quite a bit of time. 2.5 minutes is just about half the game left. Still, though, not a lot of offensive pressure that we've seen here from Twisted Tails. Something's going to need to change soon, but it's not going to with a shot like that from Fade. That's going to be 4 here for Cloud9.
4-0 with 2 minutes left is definitely not the point you want to be at, especially when the other team is on match point. But 2:15 remaining, still not out of it, as we see a bit of kickoff strats. Skifty trying to push forward, but the kickoff just doesn't quite go enough in their favor. Now Liska and Skifty going for that ball. It's going to get saved over to the corner. Now Voltag once again putting on so much pressure onto these Twisted Tails players as Liska tries for the musty, is not quite able to get the correct contact. And Golden being forced to take this one up the wall, gets bumped for his efforts. Now Skifty trying to launch this one downfield. Golden with the read! And Golden with a fantastic shot to end that drought that we've had from Twisted Tails. And it couldn't have come any later with 1:42 left. They're definitely going to need to start scoring fast.
Well, you want to start. And you got it there. That's a fantastic shot. Give them that 1 goal back, but like we talked about, still quite a bit of a lead to overcome, and looks like it might just be taken away immediately. No mercy from Cloud9 as they immediately take that one back, and a little bit of an overcommit there. I mean, if you're Twisted Tails, you know, it's unfortunate. You kind of have to start pushing. You kind of have to start making those aggressive, risky rotations, but unfortunately for them, that one just did not work in their favor. Absolute heartbreak for the side of Twisted Tails. Might have an opportunity here, but that one's going to go back the other way yet again, and that one's a little bit dangerous. Every single second that ticks off the clock here is just working in Cloud9's favor. So they do have that 4-goal lead, and just over a minute in twos, or in threes. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, it's even quite a insurmountable amount in twos as well, even with a bit more scoring, as twos is often known for, but a minute remaining with 4 goals to go, nearly 5, as Factual going to put that one off the post. That is an average of 15 seconds per goal. Definitely not impossible, but very definitely improbable, especially with Twisted Tails just not quite able to really get out of their defensive half. However, as I say that, they've started a little bit of offense here, but Voltac just going to carry this one over everybody. Tries for the reset, is not able to get it, and Golden going to put that one away. Now Factual going to try for this shot here, going to put it in an awkward spot. Liska just going to blast this one downfield. Voltac having to save that one over the corner. Fade putting that one over to the corner as well with 15 seconds left. I'm sorry to say it, but this series is most definitely over.
Not quite making it to that game 5 that I think we were hoping it would be, but all these games are very close, but the last two definitely not, as Cloud9 seemingly having all of the momentum, all of the offensive firepower in this series. And yeah, it's difficult, I think, for anyone to try to overcome a team that's seemingly shooting as well, as locked in as Cloud9 was. I joked about that wheel of cheese, but it was there, seemingly.
And honestly, that might have just been giving Fade just a lot more drive to win that, because the sooner you win that, the sooner you can start just gnawing down on that.
Oh my. Either way, I mean, that's our first game done. This one ends it a little bit quicker than maybe expected, but again, Cloud9 I think played that so incredibly well. I think they could have beat just about anyone playing that well, so we'll play to both teams. I do believe that is going to be it for this first one. We do have another game coming up. I'm not sure if Fade is back here to send us to break yet, so we might have to stall here.
Maybe, we'll see. But either way, just hats off to both teams. They played exceptionally well, but we just saw so much offensive pressure from Cloud9, and it just felt like Twisted Tails. They were getting a lot of good opportunities, especially in that second game, but just nothing seemed to be connecting. And it was just so unfortunate to see.
I definitely agree. And like we talked about, there's those glimpses of greatness from that team. They have so much potential, and they play so well. They just seem to get really unlucky in a lot of those moments. A lot of those shots just barely off the mark. A lot of the goals they let up were not easy saves. They were difficult positions to be in, regardless. So I think on another day, maybe a couple of those goals go the other way. The series completely swaps. Both. I said both words at the same time. I've been doing that a lot recently. Both of them. Why not? But just a little bit of changes in that series could have gone the other way. But for now, that is going to be a win, putting Cloud9 in that 1-1 position and Twisted Tails in that very, very dangerous 0-2 position in Swiss. We do still have another match to get to, and we will try to get to that as quickly as possible. So we will head to a quick little break, and we will have X3 Fox Clan coming up as soon as possible. Be right back after this break. Just make her cast.
See,
No.
that's the idea. That's the idea.
Birthday present.
Amber
Make
casting.
Weasel cast.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Anyway, guys, welcome on back. It is RFDL, as always. I'm Ecliptic Fades, joined here once again by Airlax, Docky, and Firestreak. And not much to say about that last match. It was a good match. Obviously, Twisted Tails, very good team. Luckily, I just have some goats on my squad, and the Esper came in handy. So I'll give props to Docky for that one. The Esper, I wasn't gonna give him props at first, but it kind of popped off. So very happy with that result for myself. Obviously, Twisted Tails is going to be down in that 0-2 round now, so they are going to be playing for their league lives next week. I wish them the best of luck in that, and hope that they can get that win that they've been wanting. But we do have another match for you guys today. We are currently setting it up. It's going to be one of our 1-0 matches. It's going to be X3 Tactics versus Fox Clan, and this is one I'm very interested to see. Both of these teams have been very dominant in the last few weeks of league play, and we never got to see Fox Clan in the mid-season, but we know that they have been a pretty dominant squad in 3v3, so these two teams going against each other should be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, I second that.
It will be good.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah, it was massive.
And-
The analysis is unheard of.
yeah, I'm getting the best analyzing from these guys today. As expected from the RFDL staff. They know exactly what each of these teams can do and what they can't, and they analyze it very based on feels. I think they vibe they vibe code their analyzations. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Wow. Analyzations is crazy.
What?
I mean, the analyzing is analyzing. That's all I have to say about that, Fade.
You know what? That's a great point. Well, while we're getting all these guys
I've
in
got
here,
some
let's just...
questions.
Okay. What's your questions, buddy?
Aw.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So let's go ahead and talk about our first team. It's going to be X3 Tactics coming in today. We've got Shy, we've got Frosty, and we got Trico showing up to try and make it to that 2-0 spot and play for one of those top 2 seeds going into playoffs. This team has been pretty dominant since they formed. We were all questioning whether or not they'd keep their first seed, and since then they've just been on a win streak. So I think they've done a good job at showing that they're still great in this league.
That is completely fair, and I won't lie, when this team got the just massive shift from its old roster, I thought we were going to see just a bit of faltering from them, but they've just kept up that win streak and kept being a completely dominant team. And that is really, really amazing to see. But we will definitely have to see how they are able to fare going further into this Swiss stage here.
Yeah, definitely not a roster to scoff at with this X3 Tactics squad. I mean, they may have gotten their revamped roster relatively late on in the league play, but at the same time, they have been playing very well together. I can very much attest to that. So we need to see if they're able to keep it up, you know, in this Swiss type of format. But I think if there is a team that's going to be able to hold their momentum well, it's going to be this team, especially with the chemistry that Trico and Shy have.
Is this the part where I say something, or is this the part where Docu says something? I can't tell. Oh.
No,
It should
I mean,
be Docky.
oh,
It should
okay.
be.
Nothing ever should be.
Wow.
No, I mean, I agree with what both of them said. I think that, you know, it's a team that had roster changes when they were at the top and continued to have that momentum. But, you know, this is kind of where that starts to get tested, right? When we start to get to these closer and closer matchups as we move further in Swiss. So you're gonna have to see if that momentum is enough to, I think, propel them forward. They got a difficult opponent against them, but you know they've shown that they can do it. So I'm excited to see if they're able to continue that going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is where they finally get. I mean, who have they played in the last little bit? If we remember correctly, from when they made their big switch. I'm gonna look this up real quick, just looking at the schedule, just to see exactly who they played. But Twisted Tails, I'm thinking different teams entirely. So X3 Tactics, I believe they changed after against Twisted Tails. So do that. And give me just a second. There we go. That's peak production. But as we were saying, X3 Tactics, when they switched their roster, they played against Twisted Tails, then they played against Gentle Paws, and then they played against Twisted Tails again. So they have not really had. I'm not to say that these teams are not to the caliber of FoxClan, but FoxClan has a certain chemistry to them that I don't think that they've had to play yet, and I think that that's going to make this a bit of a challenge for X3 Tactics to see how they can match the chemistry of FoxClan. And I mean, while we're talking about FoxClan, let's go ahead and pull up their team pages. This is a great team as well. We talk about the JB and Taka combo every single time we see FoxClan hit our screens. They have Abyss to clear them out of the midfield and keep that backline very clear as well. The rotations have always been solid. I think this is a team that will actually be able to put X3 through their paces.
Honestly, I've definitely got to agree, because especially that chemistry between Taka and Javian, the two higher ranked players on this team, that's something that you definitely have to watch out for, and there's not really much you can do to prepare for it. You just kind of have to adapt in the moment, and that is definitely a very, very difficult thing to do, especially in this sort of setting where there's just a lot of stress on just every single player and how they play. But if the streak continues, X3 can definitely have a very good chance of taking this.
So for as much chemistry as Shy and Trico have, you have the Taka Javian combo, which we have talked about a ton during this league, but they're definitely one of the best duos in the league so far, and they're sure to be able to keep that up going forward. We saw it last week against my team, which was which was honestly a best series last week. Was that series with Gentle Paws and Fox Clan, but
Oh
you
my
know, honestly, this Fox Clan team, they can beat anybody, and I know they're going to be able to take it to this X3 Tactics roster.
I think last week, when it came to Fox Clan, I think that, you know, you're in your round 1 matches. It doesn't, like, unless you're really playing to get those top 2 seeds, which I don't think a lot of these teams are trying to do. I don't think it's a, like, priority for them to make it top 2. I think they just want to make playoffs. Round 1, I don't think it really means too much whether you win or lose. I think they could take that laid back, a little fun. As you can see from the last match week, they had a lot of fun with it, changing up cars and changing up those presets. I think getting into round 2, things get a little bit more serious. I think that you start seeing back to normal gameplay for Fox Clan. I think they're going to see that now that they have the opportunity to get a bye in the first round of playoffs, they might try to get to that. And I think X3 Tactics, definitely not a team that you should take lightly. So I definitely expect to see both teams playing at their peak this time. I'm excited for this one. I definitely think both teams have a good strategy around their gameplay. It's just going to be who can play their game and who can force the other team to submit. That's going to make the big difference here. Before we get into this game, guys, I think it's time for some predictions. But let's go ahead and start with Docky here, because he hasn't gotten to say much. Docky, what's your prediction for this match?
That's tough, because like we talked about, I haven't really been able to see Fox Clan play very much. I mean, they weren't able to play in the midseason, and then the first game in Swiss was a little bit trolly. So I don't think we got to see them play incredibly to full potential, unfortunately. So, but I know that they're capable here. So I want to give it to them. I think this one goes to 4, but I think Fox Clan takes this one.
And Daki, I do just want to kind of say off of that, like, they were definitely playing very trolly. Like, we even saw some of the camera settings, but I'd like to point out that there were some absolutely peak shots hit, even with those wild camera settings. And if Fox Clan is hitting those kind of shots with that much of like a hindrance, then they are definitely a force to be reckoned with. So I'm definitely going to give it to Fox Clan as well. I'm going to say they take it in 4.
All right, I'll go next. Just following the circle. This is a tough one. I like both teams. I love both teams. They're really good. Trico has been impressing me a lot on the X3 Tactics side. And, I mean, so it's the whole team with their chemistry. At the same time, though, you know that I always have to rep my boy Taka. And Fox Clan, I think they're going to take this. I think Game 4, Game 5 makes sense here. X3 Tactics is not slouch. I definitely expect them to take some games here. It's not going to be a sweep by any means. It's going to be a tough match. But I'm going to say Game 5 Fox Clan. I do just think that the JV and Taka combo is going to overwhelm the defense of X3 Tactics. And if X3 Tactics wants to win, I will say they're going to need to play almost perfect Rocket League. But we do know that Javian was just out getting food, so he might have a food buff or a food debuff. We'll have to see how that affects him. But Fire, what is your prediction?
Honestly, I think both of the upper 2 ranked players on both of these teams are going to play with the chemistry that we've seen them play before, and both of those duos are going to play very well. So I think in large part this is going to come down to those supporting members of these rosters, that the Frosty and Abyss. I think it's a lot of the games are going to be won and lost by those players. And I think those 2 players are going to play really competitively with each other, given their ranks. And I think that's going to lead to a really tight series. But just due to the rank differential between Abyss and Frosty, I'm going to need to give a very slight edge to Frosty on that one. And because of that, I'm going to give this to X3 in 5.
All right. Well, we have our predictions going up here. 3 for Fox Clan, 1 for X3. Let's see how this match ends up being for the rest of this. Everybody, guys, it's our last match of the day. Unfortunately, only 2 matches today, but we're going to have a fun one here. It's time for X3 Tactics versus Fox Clan. Very excited to see where this one goes. We got all these guys going into the lobby. Let's get started. Fire, take this one away. Can't even see.
I can't see right now, so we'll just talk about how these 2 teams are just so closely matched to each other as we head into the opening kickoff. Javian is going to be up for that one fast and is able to get control. Shy is going to control that, taking it past midfield. Abyss on the defense and is able to get a good cut. Abyss with the 50. Trico is going to gain possession though off the wall. Trico trying to get that mid, unable to do so though. Taka taking it across midfield, and that's going to end up as a pass to Abyss, and Abyss puts that one home, putting his mark on this game 1 early.
It's a very interesting card choice from Abyss right there. I like it. I like seeing it. It means he's confident. It means he's playing well. It means he doesn't really care about where they're placing. It means he's playing for fun, and that's what you want to see from this league, is these guys playing for fun. As Abyss tries to go once again, Javian with the dunk. Trico does save it, but Frosty trying to double commit with that, trying to get it out to the corner, but it's going to leave X3 Tactics in a rough position. Now Taka trying to get the dunk over. It's not going to work. Trico has it off the ceiling. Shy can't quite read that ball as Fox Clan gets in the way of it. Now we go back to midfield. Another shot by Javian, but it's going to be a little bit high. And we're not seeing anything too threatening after that first shot from Abyss, but X3 Tactics trying to push. Frosty with the chance, going to have that up high. We're going to go back to the midfield once again.
Yeah, that Fox Clan chemistry is really showing up big for them early in this one as they go for a tight play right there, but Shy is going to get the save. Shy taking control of this ball, Javian making it awkward for him, and that's just going to lead to an awkward situation for both of those players. Frosty trying to get that one middle, unable to do so though, and Abyss does get a great touch on that, but the defense is there to save that. Taka air dribbling it through the midfield, but Trico is going to be able to get possession, and that's going to allow him to get a pass middle for teammate. Shy clearing that one past midfield. Shy putting that in the corner, is unable to get the touch on net, but Trico is there to collect it. Javian getting the 50 though. Taka trying to play this one high, unable to get the touch he wants though, and that's going to allow Frosty to dump this mid. But Abyss is able to keep that out of harm's way. But Shy taking the pass from Trico and putting that one home. That's just a great play from this X3 Tactics roster.
Yeah, that was a perfect shot. Perfect top left corner from Shy. Gonna be able to tie this one up, and that was a great team play from X3 Tactics to put that in. Now we're gonna have to see if they can replicate that, or if Fox Clan is going to get the upper hand here off of this kickoff. Looking like Abyss trying to get that ball, not able to find the shot though. Pass over to Javian. Excellent block by Shy to keep that out of any harm's way. But Javian has a bunch of boost, tries to get it over Trico, unable to do so. Taka maybe looking for a double tap. It goes down to Abyss instead, but not a powerful shot. That's going to go back over to the Fox Clan side. Trico trying to get the dunk over Javian that time. Not going to be able to find it. The 50s keep going for whichever team is in defense, it looks like. And you're going to have to watch for those 50s. The winner of more of them probably going to end up winning this match. That's some caster math for you. Javian trying to take this on the ground. Gets demoed. Frosty going to have to take him from there. But very awkward on that ball. We've been seeing Fox Clan finding these possessions, but not able to commit to anything substantial on attack. We're gonna have to see what X3 Tactics to do. Is the lane is clear for a shot, but no one able to take it. And Fire, what do you think Fox Clan need to change here to try and get the upper hand in this game number 1 again?
Hats off to Abyss so far. Abyss is playing out of his mind this game, just so consistent for that Fox Clan team. And I want to see Taka and Javian take a little bit of weight off of Abyss in this match, because Abyss is carrying a ton of weight in this match so far. But we'll see if they're able to do so, as Abyss is going to clear this forward. Taka trying to get the follow-up, unable to do so though, and that's going to fall to Javian. Javian trying to play this through the middle of the field, unable to get the second touch though, which is going to allow Frosty to try to get a flip reset over the top of the defense, but it does not get past, I believe that was Taka. Now Javian trying to play this off the sidewall. He's able to do so, trying to get this down the field, but it's going to be collected by Shy, and Shy is going to have a ground play, and that's where Shy exceeds, but he's only able to get it over 1. Now Trico, going through the air, is able to get at least on the Fox Clan half, and Javian is going to be able to clear that one out though. Great save by Shy right there. Taka trying to put that on, but Trico is going to get a good challenge from behind, and Frosty is going to end up clearing that one to the side. Now there's a shot on net, it's dangerous, but Javian able to clear that one out. X3 Tactics going to allow it to fall, and this one's going to overtime.
That was a very tough save for Javian. He was getting bumped in the back line there, had to dodge that to make sure that he got in front of it. Now we're going to have to see if their offense will be as good as their defense, as Taka and Abyss take turns on touching that ball to clear it. Trico over to the corner, but not a lot of boost for them, and Javian going to be able to get past, but with no boost in the tank, not going to be able to make any substantial shot. Now it's time for Abyss to go forward. Shy with a good touch pass. Frosty tries for the redirect. That's not going to work out for them quite yet. We're starting to see some Fox Clan pressure. That might help out a little bit, but Frosty will have this out to this defense, as Fox Clan now has to push forward again. And this is something we keep seeing for Fox Clan in this game, is that X3 Tactics end up just giving the ball away to them, but they're not really able to push up and do much with it. They're going to have to find a creative way to get past the defense here. The minute 8 now done in overtime. No goal just yet. Not a lot of threatening pressure from either team, Fire.
Yeah, this game has just kind of been stuck in a little bit of a midfield battle. No team really able to get anything substantial in terms of pressure. No threatening looks. But whichever team is going to be able to hold pressure first is going to be the one that takes this game, as we see a miss by X3, which is unfortunate for them if they want to take this first game. But Javian playing it high, Trico playing it over to the side. Abyss getting the follow-up, unable to put that one on though, as Taka sits back and waits for Frosty. Javian trying to put a shot on net, unable to do so though. Abyss with the follow-up, and Abyss puts that one home. Abyss scoring both of the goals for this Fox Clan team, and is showing up in huge ways for this team so far.
Yeah, and that was perfect placement from Javian to get that past the defense, and an open net for Abyss, and he's going to be able to take it. Fox Clan take game number 1. We're going to have to see how X3 Tactics can adapt in this next game to tie up the series, but Fox Clan looking good so far. I will say, though, on the grand scheme of things, just both teams looking a little lackluster in terms of offense. Hoping to see that ramp up a little bit more as we get into game number 2.
For sure, Fade. I mean, we're just seeing this game, for a lot of the game, was just locked in a midfield battle where no team was really getting any real pressure. And if either one of these teams is able to do that, they're going to find themselves taking this series. So it's still very much anyone's series, and we just got to see which team adapts better as the series progresses.
For sure. I definitely like what I'm seeing from both these teams, though. Shy is already showing that they are very mechanically on point today, which is what you like to see from X3 Tactics. Foxclan, the synergy is working as usual. However, having to rely a little bit on Abyss. We're going to need to see a bit more shots coming out from Taka and Javian if Foxclan are going to continue to remain competitive in this. And we will see what happens as game 2 about to start. Taka getting that off of the kickoff, but goes straight to Frosty. Now Javian, not a lot of boost to work with. Trying to pass it to Taka, maybe a little bit of miscommunication, but miscommunication on the side of X3 Tactics as well. And that's going to allow Foxclan to get the advantage at the start of this game, being able to push up, but that is going to be going into the back of the net. Trico getting a free one downfield.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a overcommit by Foxclan. Not sure really where their last man was on that play, but definitely not in a position to make that save. So that's going to allow X3 to take that 1-goal lead early on. Abyss going into the air. We'll need to see if he's able to put on an effective shot, but he opts for the drop back pass, and it almost works out for Foxclan. But X3 is going to be able to clear this one away. Shy doesn't get the 50 he wants, and that's going to allow Taka to play that towards the middle, but it's a bit too high for Abyss, and they're not going to be able to get any immediate shots on net from that play. Now, Abyss going for the 50 is going to get dunked, and Taka is going to need to play this to the side, and is able to do so well. Javian playing that forward. Trico getting the cut, and Trico is not going to be able to play that one forward, which is going to force this ball onto the X3 half. Taka going for a shot there, unable to put that one on as Trico plays this one forward. Abyss trying to control that, unable to do so though. Taka plays that forward. Javian going for the corner wall redirect, unable to get that on though, as Abyss is going to try to control this in his corner. Abyss playing that one over to Taka. That's a great passing look, but Taka just doesn't look to be ready for that one. But he's going to get a good opportunity going forward in that, but unable to get that past Trico. And this is just going to end up bouncing right back into their own half, as that one almost ends up in the net. And quite a few more threatening opportunities coming out in early on in this game, Fade.
A lot more threatening opportunities for Foxclan, but Trico is just so good in that defensive backline. He's always so solid, so patient, ready for any single shot that comes his way. And that's what makes X3 Tactics really a pain to play against, is when they get in that defensive siege, and then they can find the counterattack as they're trying to do here. Abyss able to take that off of Trico. We're definitely seeing a few more opportunities for Foxclan, but they're going to need to be careful, as any opportunity from X3 Tactics go into the back of the net, and they do not want to be playing behind by 2 goals. Taka and Javian both in the net, but neither can get a touch on the ball, as Abyss has to come and clear this one out for Foxclan. I'm just seeing a bit of a lack of accuracy coming out from this Foxclan roster. We've seen Taka go for a couple of shots now that have been put to the side, which I definitely think in some of their best days would be scored on net. Maybe X3 Tactics can take advantage of this lack of accuracy, as they've done so early in Game 2. Still up with a 1-goal lead with 2 minutes remaining. Now Javian not able to get a touch on this ball. Abyss gets beaten by Shy, but gets the demo instead. That's going to stall the attack coming out. Frosty looking for the redirect, not able to find it. And Taka able to take this downfield. Now over to Abyss. Abyss tries to put that center for Javian. No boost on the side of Foxclan, and they're going to have to rotate back real quick, as an excellent shot from Frosty almost goes into the back of the net.
Yeah, and Faye, this is exactly kind of what we expected out of this series. You know, both teams kind of going back and forth with each other, as we see a great opportunity for Shy, but Shy unable to put that one on. But I mean, we expected this to kind of be a back and forth series, and it's proving itself to be exactly that, as a great save is made by Frosty to keep the ball out of his own net. Now, Trico trying to progress this forward. Abyss is going to force it off, which is going to allow Taka to play that one forward. Taka going for the shot off of the pass from Abyss! And that's just a great play by that Fox Clan roster to even this game back out. And we love seeing these team plays come out from this Fox Clan roster.
Just a little bit of an overcommit from X3 Tactics there. You saw Shy had to turn back knowing they were last back, but Abyss closer to the ball, just in a really good position to put that pass out and give that to Taka. You know they're going to score it. So excellent on Fox Clan to be playing well under pressure, tie this back up. Kind of like we saw in game number 1 with X3 Tactics tying it up within the last minute as well. Starting to get some parity here as another shot goes on. Javian starting to get that accuracy up a little bit more as well. Fox Clan fans are going to love to see that, but not going to love to see that a double commit coming out for Fox Clan, and this is X3 Tactics' chance to capitalize. Shy in the air, not enough boost, and Trico doesn't have anything in the tank, so they just try for the 50, but unable to get it. Now Shy, out to Frosty, back to Shy, it's gonna be up off the crossbar and out, and that was one of the X3 Tactics' best chances to get a goal there. Now another shot as the offense continues, but it looks like we might be going to overtime once again as this ball will hit the ground and we have OT for 2 games in a row.
And I mean, this is exactly what we want to see out of this series. We have Fox Clan trying to put themselves on triple match point X3, trying to avoid that by all means possible. Abyss needing to make a great save there. And I mean, both of these teams are going to want this game so badly.
Oh, no.
It should lead to a great game, but I mean, I guess X3 just wanted to shut me up right there and just put one in only 20 seconds into this overtime, which, I mean, that's just going to even the series back up for us, Fade.
And you could see right at the end there, a bit of lack of communication between Taka and Javian. Javian didn't have any boost. Taka had all the boost, and that slight turn is all it takes to make a little bit of hesitation for Fox Clan. That's going to be an X3 Tactics. Tie this series up. That's going to be very interesting. As we said, we expected this to go very even. This is probably the hardest match that X3 Tactics has had so far, this new iteration since joining the league. And they're taking it pretty well, but it's very close between these two teams. What do you think is going to be the defining factor of this series here?
So far in this series, I think Fox Clan might actually have a little bit of an advantage. I've seen just a little bit more of a kind of threatening pressure from them coming out. And I think if they're able to keep that up, it will bode well for them in this series, as well as just Abyss playing so well. He's involved in every single one of their goals. But I think ultimately, Frosty is also playing really well. I'm looking, I haven't seen these two duos click quite as well as what I'm used to seeing them click at, and I'll need to see who's able to start really playing to their potential between these two duos. As we head into game 3, we see some early pressure from X3 within these first 5 seconds or so, but it's going to be relieved by Fox Clan very early on. Now Shy trying to get this one in a dangerous position, but Javian should be there for that and is able to clear it out. Frosty, maybe not quite in the position he wants to be for that, as Trico's going to need to fill in and goes for the sidewall redirect, unable to get this one on. And a little bit of a back and forth here early on, Fade. It's no clear team having an advantage, and I mean, we're just going to need to wait and see who's able to maintain some of this pressure throughout a full, 30 seconds or so.
And once you go back to a tied series, you kind of have to go back to square one. You kind of have to test the waters a little bit again, as these teams are doing, trying to force their opponents to make any sort of mistake, as one might come out here, but Javian does get back to this ball in time. Now Taka up for that one very early. We're going to see a bit of pressure from Fox Clan, but a bit of a team bump between Taka and Javian, as the speed in this match has seemed to ramp up considerably from the last couple of games. Javian with the backflip though, Trico takes advantage first, and X3 Tactics in the lead.
Yeah, this is exactly the type of plays I want to see out of this X3 Tactics squad. This Trico putting the ball in a position that's going to be awkward for Fox Clan, then cutting that really well just to be able to keep that pressure once Fox Clan was awkward. Now, Shy going for a shot. Javian is going to be back for that though. Javian taking it through the air. Taka going for a pinch, but they're not going to be able to convert on that. And the ball just kind of settles in a spot. And I mean, Trico going to identify that Fox Clan is awkward and is going to get another shot on net. And I don't know why this was so awkward for Fox Clan.
It looked like Taka decided to fake the play, and Trico read him very thoroughly, just taking it as a dribble. Definitely not something that Fox Clan is expecting there. And no one else on the back line is ready to get that pass away from Trico. Now another pass out to Frosty, but it is going to be saved by Abyss. As we're seeing a lot of pressure coming out for X3 Tactics, and Fox Clan maybe just having slight communication issues on some of these plays are really not doing well for their game number 3 lives. But Taka gonna try and take this one up. It goes straight to Trico again, and that is not where you want to see X3 Tactics, right in front of your net with the ball and 100 boosts. Now Abyss trying to get past Shy, has to go to Javian instead. Taka, only one on Fox Clan with any boost to speak of. And Abyss gets a really nice 50 against Frosty. Taka maybe looking for the double tap. It goes down to Javian. Can't put it on net either. And with half the game remaining, these are the types of opportunities that need to be going in if you're Fox Clan right now.
Just not quite seeing the chemistry that we're used to from this Taka Javian combo, and they're going to need to start finding that chemistry again really quickly if they want to take this game back within striking distance, which they're going to want to do soon if they are to do it in this game. Now Javian trying to play this forward, going for a solo play air dribble, and is able to use it to clear it out, but nothing more. Taka going for the follow-up, dropping it middle, but both of the Fox Clan players back off on that one, and that's just going to require them to need to try to control it on their own backline. Now, the ball's getting played to the middle. Taka is up for it, but Shy is just a little bit too quick to that one. That's going to keep it out of the X3 net. Now, Frosty trying to play that one forward, unable to do so though, but Trico is able to get a crucial demo, which is going to clear up the space that is needed for X3 to clear this one out. Now Javian trying to go for the double, but Shy is in the perfect spot to just be able to clear that one away. And X3 Tactics is doing a really good job of just buying themselves time and running out this clock.
And this is something that X3 Tactics have been really good with since they added Frosty and Trico to this roster. Their defense has gone on a different level than the old roster, and they're able to take these 2-goal leads, these 1-goal leads, and just stall it out as much as possible. And when you're going up against an offense like Fox Clan, that is definitely a difficult feat. Now Shy trying to score another one. Not going to work out this time. Taka, bit of a backflip there. Gonna need to lock in a little bit more as this goes off the back wall. Chance for Fox Clan, but Trico gonna be the first one to the ball. And with 30 seconds left, X3 Tactics looking like they're gonna go to match point.
Yeah, X3 Tactics definitely looking really good in this one, but Taka, hold on, Fade, not quite so fast on that one. Taka, as if he heard you doubting on him right there, says, hold up. Wait a minute, and is going to take this back within a 1-goal game, and this game is suddenly anyone's to take once again. Frosty with the miss right there. Javian is going to have an opportunity, but is unable to get the double. And now Taka is going to need to try to get this middle for Abyss. Abyss is going to get a shot on net, but the entire X3 Tactics roster is there to save that out with a team save right there. And now they're going to need to keep this alive. Javian trying to play this forward. Trico trying to drop that. Unable to do so, though, as Abyss gets a 50, and Taka's going to need to scramble for that, but is unable to get to that. And that's going to allow X3 Tactics to put themselves back in the lead in this series. And that's going to require a double match point in favor of X3 Tactics.
That was very interesting. Fox Clan almost able to come back there, but unfortunately just the defense a bit too strong on X3 Tactics, and they're going to find themselves on match point and very favorable to be winning this series here. Fox Clan, as you said earlier, Fire, we're just not seeing the chemistry that we're used to from Taka and Javian. They're kind of double committing, getting caught up in each other's presence a lot of the time, and I think that's kind of throwing the entire team off. Gonna need to see a bit of a change coming into game number 4 if they want to make this series a bit more competitive against this #1 seed. We're gonna have to see how game number 4 treats them. I think getting that first goal is going to be instrumental to Fox Clan being able to take it to a game 5, and of course, we want to see a game 5 here today.
We absolutely do, because these two teams are so evenly matched. I believe all of these games have only been won by a single goal, and we're going to want to see much more of that going forward in this series. What? This is immediately going to be in Fox Clan's favor. Abyss trying for the shot, but Trico's there for the save. Trico trying to play this forward. Javian is able to get the save, and already we're seeing tons of pressure from both teams. Shy going for the reset, unable to convert on it though. Javian is bumped, but Trico is just not right in the correct position to take advantage of that open net opportunity gifted to him by his teammate. Now, Frosty collecting the ball is going to bounce this off a backboard, but nothing doing for that X3 Tactics roster. Now, I mean, we're a minute into this game and we've seen a lot of pressure from both teams, and we're going to need to see who's able to capitalize on it first.
Oh, it might be Fox Clan, as that's going to be off the crossbar and out, but Abyss with the read will get that first goal for Fox Clan. And Abyss has been doing so well this series at this cleanup of these awkward balls. Now, we're going to have to see exactly what X3 Tactics can do as they play from behind for the first time in a couple of games. Taka is going to take control. That should give some momentum to Fox Clan here as he tries to get that read on Trico, not able to beat them in front of the net, and it goes wide. Now Javian turning quick on that one, just trying to get as much pressure as they can. The net is open, but Taka can't make it there in time and just takes the demo instead. Now, Shy up, awkward with little boost. Trico in an awkward spot as well, and it just seems like Fox Clan might have X3's number here on this siege, but a long clear is finally going to relieve some of the pressure on the green side. X3 Tactics able to push out.
Yeah, Fox Clan has opened up this game swinging. They do not want to lose this one, and they seem to really be playing aggressively this game, which is exactly what we want to see. Now, Abyss is not quite going to get that 50, but Javian's going to be able to follow it up, and that's going to allow Taka to be able to take possession in their own corner. Now, Abyss needing to get a crucial save, or that was Javian getting the crucial save for his team. Keep them in this lead. Now, Taka trying to pass it down to Abyss. Abyss unable to put that one on, though. Javian trying to take this one out of his own corner, is able to do so as Shy gets the 50, but it's not quite enough as Javian puts his team up by 2. Fox Clan in the same situation X3 was in last game.
And I think Javian just plays the miss there, and it works out to their advantage. Good play from them to go up by 2. Unfortunately for X3 Tactics, being in this match point situation, maybe the nerves are hitting them a little bit, but that might work out. It does perfectly. Trico in the perfect shot plot to get this 50. And that's just tough if you're Abyss. You get bumped by Shy. There's only one way that you can take the ball out, and Trico is right there to hit it back into the net. Gonna be a quick comeback for X3 Tactics, but Fox Clan still up by 1 with 2:29 remaining. Plenty of time for X3 Tactics to come back, though. And if you're Fox Clan, you're gonna need to make sure that your defense here is on point. As Javian gonna try and take this past midfield. Trico with the 50. Gonna go down to Taka, who's been playing it very close to his car this game in particular. We've been seeing a lot of controlling dribbles coming out from him. It seems to be working out for Fox Clan. However, this is going to be awkward. Abyss not in the right spot, and Frosty is going to tie up the match.
Yeah, and that's just the ball gets past Javian there, and I don't think Abyss was quite expecting it to just be a clean beat there. And just that little bit of hesitation kind of puts the Fox Clan roster in an awkward spot there. Now Shy, trying to put one on early, is able to do so, but Taka gets an easy save on that one. Abyss, playing this off a sidewall, gets a good pinch, but Shy is going to be in the perfect spot to be able to clear that one away. Javian, controlling this on his own sidewall, keeps control very nicely, but Trico is there for the 50, and Taka is just going to opt to rotate back. Now, no one from X3 quite in the right position to get an early challenge on that one, which is going to allow Taka to push that one forward, but they're able to be there for the save. Frosty, sitting front post on this one, is able to play this to the side, but Abyss is going to drop that down, and that's going to allow Taka to play this one towards the middle. The rotation a little bit slow from Fox then, that's going to allow X3 to potentially get it clear out of their own half right there. That's going to allow a little bit of a miscue from Javian and Taka there. The awkwardness kind of works out in their favor though, and Abyss is going to need to play this one forward. Now Taka trying to play this towards the middle. Shy is there to clear that one away though, and that's a relief of all that pressure Fox Clan had for the past 30 seconds or so. And X3 gonna need to put in a goal if they want to close this before going to overtime.
31 seconds left, and it looks like X3 Tactics able to push. However, you see Trico having to fall back as not a lot of boost and not a lot of possession on the side of X3 Tactics. It means that they need to rethink their game plan there just a little bit. That rotation will help them with that. Now, Frosty trying to get the touch. It's left for Shy, and Abyss is in the right spot. Over to Javian, back to Abyss, and Trico just playing this defensively, totally fine with going to an OT. Now that pinch is, but it's gonna go on the ground, and unfortunately for X3 Tactics, they find themselves in an overtime. One more second on that clock, and this match would be over. Now Javian, not the best touch coming out from them. Shy has to play that slow as well. Taka now has possession of the ball, 100 boost. It doesn't hit the ceiling, but he has to take it a little bit awkwardly. Looks for the bump instead. Now it's going to be Javian. Javian looking for the double tap. He finds it, and with 23 seconds into OT, we go to Game 5.
Love to see that. Just an unfortunate backflip from the X3 Tactics roster combined with a really nice double tap by Javian there is going to just close that game out in Fox Clan's favor, and that's exactly what Fox Clan needed. Both of their wins have been in overtime so far this series. 3 overtimes in 4 games, and I mean, are we going to be spoiled and get a 5th one?
I would be surprised if this goes to an OT, maybe a little bit. At the same time, these teams are so close to each other in their offensive and defensive capabilities. I think if they're both playing at their peak, we most definitely could get a 4th game or 4th OT out of 5 games here. We'll have to see how these teams play going to Champions Field. I will say, I think X3 Tactics looked a little bit nervous in that last game. Going to Champions Field is not going to help with that, as they had 2 chances to take that series. Now they only have 1. And on the line for this one game of Rocket League is a chance at getting the bye in playoffs. So a lot of implications for this match coming out now, and we are ready to get into game number 5. And we're just gonna tell everybody to good luck and have fun and hope they play their best.
Exactly. We want to see both teams playing at their best in this series. Any series that goes to Game 5 on Champions Field is a good one, and we'd love to see this one living up to the expectations. Trico trying to play that one forward, unable to do so though, as Taka is able to 50 this to the X3 Tactics side of the field. Now Shy kind of 50'd his own teammate, but Frosty is going to be there to get it around Javian. Javian staying in that place so nicely though. Now, all three of the Fox Clan defenders in their own corner though. That's a little bit interesting positioning wise from them. And Javian is going to be there for a very nice save. Now Frosty trying to put that one forward, but Abyss is going to get a great 50, and this is now on the X3 Tactics side of the field. And early on, we've seen a bit of pressure from the X3 Tactics side, and Fox Clan is holding up really well on their defensive half now.
I'm definitely looking for Fox Clan to start trying to shut down Trico more and more as this game progresses, as he's been the thorn in the side of Fox Clan this entire series, getting all the crucial saves, a lot of the crucial goals. That's going to be your number one player to look at if you want X3 Tactics to take this, but Abyss gets an insane clear downfield. No one expects it to go in the back of the net, and it just rolls up. Oh, it went off of Trico's car.
Yeah, that's just a really good touch there by Abyss. And Abyss, I can't say it enough times, carried so much weight for this Fox Clan side, and definitely taking a bigger amount of the workload than what you would expect for the ranks on this Fox Clan side. Now Abyss almost getting a pinch back into the net, but not quite on target. Javian keeping the control here, and Javian getting a really nice goal there. Almost as if to say, fire, I can make really good shots too, and puts it on full display right there.
And that was the only way to get past Trico there. He noticed a little bit of hesitation in Trico's movements and put it into the corner where it was most likely to go up and into the net. Excellent shot from Javian, but now Trico going to try and find something. Another shot opportunity for Fox Clan, but both players have missed it. Unfortunate for Fox Clan. Very fortunate for X3 Tactics that they can push forward here, but no, the defense from Fox Clan a little bit strong. That's going to be an excellent shot from Trico, though, and X3 Tactics are not out of this just yet.
No, they are not. And I was about to say, I'm not sure if this X3 Tactics has gone to a Game 5 so far in this league. And I was wondering if it was kind of playing on their nerves a bit, but it doesn't seem to based off of that, as this game is right back within a one-goal game. Now, we see, you know, X3 just putting it back in. This is a tie game once again, Fade. Just a great play by Shy to put that middle, and Frosty with a really quick follow-up on that one.
And you would have had to pre-jump that to be able to save it. Unfortunately for Javian, not expecting anyone to be up for that so early. Now all tied again, and we've seen this happen for X3 many times. They're so good at coming back when they're down in these games, and that is one of their greatest strengths. However, there's still plenty of time in this match, over half the game remaining. We're gonna have to see who can take the momentum and shift it in their favor. As Javian gets it past Trico, Frosty up in the air, gets it midfield. That's not going to be a good jump from Abyss, and they're going to be out of position, but steal the corner boost to deny X3 Tactics a good rotation out into their side of the field. Now Taka trying to slow down this play a little bit for his teammates. That's a bouncing ball from Abyss, not going to go into the back of the net though. And they're going to have to try again. A pass from Taka over to Frosty. Javian has to turn quick on this, and does so, keeping it in the midfield, but Trico gonna beat Abyss. Is there gonna be a second touch? No. Taka's gonna be able to clear this one over to Shy. A dunk coming straight down. Is that gonna be a goal? No. Javian blocked by Frosty. And Abyss gonna have to get up for this one. Crucial touch coming out from Abyss as a minute 45 hits the clock. We're still tied here.
Team's getting so many good opportunities in this match, but neither team being able to put one home. But the X3 getting really close there. The follow-up is there, and Shy is going to have the follow-up touch to put that one in. And I mean, as soon as I was about to say, neither team really had an advantage. The X3 Tactics roster is quick to shut me down on that one, as they take a 1-goal lead and are now on a 3-goal run with only 1:30 left in this game. Now, the ball is going to bounce into the Fox Clan corner. Abyss does get a good 50 there, and they're trying to 50 this out of their own side. X3 is it just opts for the pass back on that one, but is going to get 50'd in their own half. Unfortunate little miss on the recovery there from the Abyss to be able to get the 50, but they are able to hold pressure on this one. Now, a little bit of a double commit from the Fox Clan roster, as we see Frosty being able to take control, is opting for the ceiling shot, unable to get the shot on himself, but Taka is going to deny the follow-up opportunity. Now, Javian trying to take control, but Abyss is going to take a shot on net. Will he get the double? No, he's just not able to put that one on, and that's an unfortunate break for Foxland. Are they going to get the follow-up here? 30 seconds left, and Foxland needs one quick here, Fade.
Oh, and an opportunity for Taka. It's an open net, and Taka is going to tie this one up, and it's an excellent pass from Abyss. It actually is trying to go off the back wall. Trico hits it a bit too hard, and it comes off of the ceiling. Taka gets a freebie, and this one could go either way. We're seeing excellent shots from these guys, and you know how we said if these guys play their best, we might see another OT? We're about 22 seconds away from that. As Shy goes up for another shot, wanting to end this in regulation, Taka and Javian are going to push forward here. Opportunity for Foxland, but Shy plays that so well, stealing the boost away from Javian and taking the ball. Now Taka playing this slow as the final 10 seconds rain down on this game. Shy more than likely going to just let this hit the ground. And once again, for 4 games out of the 5, we are in overtime.
I mean, this might be the single best series we have seen so far in RFDL, as we have, as you said, 4
Taka
overtimes in this series. Taka's trying to finish it there. Javian is there though, and that one is ending so early on. These overtimes not lasting very long in this series, with Taka and Javian in classic Taka Javian fashion. A midfield pass sending this series off with a bang, and that's just a great play by those two. But I mean, Fade, I gotta say it one more time. Abyss carrying so much weight throughout this series to keep his team in this one. And I mean, if we were going to have weekly MVPs in the Swiss stage of this, it would probably be going to Abyss based off of that performance.
Absolutely. Abyss had a standout performance in that entire series, and we saw FoxClan start off pretty shaky but ramp back up. And you gotta say, X3 Tactics put on a extreme effort, and that was such a close game. You gotta feel sorry for them. It was so close against this FoxClan squad, but in the end, those last-second heroics from Taka and Javian will end the series, and FoxClan going to be our first team in the 2-0 round of Swiss. They're going to have a chance next week to play against another 2-0 team, or possibly a 2-1 team, to take the first top 2 seeds in the playoffs and get that bye in the first round. That's going to be huge for FoxClan if they can make it that far. Still got one more series to prove themselves in, and they're going to have a tough opponent no matter who wins this rest of this week, because they're going to be also playing a team that more than likely has went 2-0. And I mean, other than that, there's not much else to say. FoxClan played that well. X3 Tactics, they're going to be a tough match for anyone to play in that 1-1 round as well. So we're going to have to see tomorrow, as the rest of our matches progress, who is going to be playing against X3 Tactics, and also Cloud9, who's also in that 1-1 round. We'll also find out what the rest of our matches are. But for today, guys, that is all we have for you. Only 2 matches on the day, as most of our teams have wanted to play on Sunday this week, with only 5 games to have every week, with Persian 1 leaving us. That just leaves a little bit of extra space for matches. But we will be back on tonight with some RFDL After Dark. And of course, we will be back on tomorrow with the rest of Swiss round 2. We're going to have Black Bunny Gaming versus Lumosity, Dignipause versus Awapta Gaming, and Big Dragon Squad versus Protogen Rebellion. That's all going to be happening tomorrow, guys. So make sure to tune in here an hour earlier at 3 p.m. EST, as we will get going with our games a bit earlier as at our normal time tomorrow. But anything else to say on that match fire before we get going?
Don't think there is anything else for me to say. It was just one heck of a series, and I mean, it's great to see FoxClan playing in top form right now, as we're gonna end up ending off this week like that, I think. So well played to all the teams that played this week, and I mean, well done, everyone.
Yeah, and we do have everybody back on here. You guys can't see them, but Docky and Arilax are here. Do you guys got any final thoughts on that final match?
That was such a close series. My goodness, 4 overtimes is insane.
Crazy.
Crazy.
It was indeed a crazy match, and it's going to be a crazy end to round number 2. I'm predicting for tomorrow, so make sure to tune in, as I said. And if you want to just hang out with the desk crew and just see what we do when the cameras are usually off and we're just having a fun time, make sure to join us tonight at 10 p.m. EST for some RFDL After Dark. We're going to play some custom games in Rocket League. We're going to have some fun times, do some boomer mode, make Docky rage a little bit. That's the plan, and I will be as unhinged as possible, so you guys aren't going to want to miss it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you tonight for After Dark, and we will see you tomorrow for the end of round 2 of Swiss. See you all then.
See ya.